At Kao Salon Division, we believe that sustainability is an important part of everything we do. And we believe that improving the sustainability in our industry is something that we can only achieve together with our salon partners. For this reason, we are already regularly highlighting salons with a passion for sustainability. And now we are taking this spirit to the next level. Starting today, at Kao Salon Virtual Experience event, we will now acknowledge every year one salon per continent for its leadership in sustainability. Join me now in listening to Vivian Chen, GM of Kao Salon Taiwan, who talks to Scott Lee, the owner of 4 Hair Concept Salon in Taipei, Taiwan. Scott and his team have been acknowledged by us as leaders in salon sustainability in Asia for their efforts around social responsibility. And together with one salon in America and one salon in Europe, they are the first members of our new Kao Salon Sustainability Leadership Circle.
Hi everybody, I'm Vivian, I'm the General Manager of Kao Taiwan, and it's my great honour to be able to speak to Scott today. Scott is the owner of 4 Hair Salon. We'll be talking about how they implement sustainability, and in particular how they implement corporate social responsibility, how they implement that as part of their spirit within the salon. First of all, congratulations for this award. Hi Scott, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today about how you implement ESG in your daily practice, how you are improving this world in just that little bit. Scott, for the stylists that are watching us today, could you share a little bit more about ESG and how you look at sustainability? Hi Vivian. Hi everybody. I'm very thankful for this opportunity. And thank you very much also to Kao for providing this international stage to share with everybody what we're doing in our salon. Thank you, Scott. I'd also like to welcome Ethan, who is in charge of education in Taiwan. Ethan, could you talk to us a little bit about how you understand and view 4 Hair Concept and what they've been doing in terms of activities and programs? Hi everybody, I'm Ethan. I am the education leader for Kao Salon Taiwan, and I'm very glad to talk about 4 Hair. They have received quite a bit of feedback for what they've been doing within Taiwan, and it's of course also increased their visibility overall. 4 Hair Concept is a brilliant salon, the way that they work together as a team, but also how they understand themselves within the context of sustainability, and that's what we're talking about today. Scott, before we get started really with this interview, could you talk to us a little bit about your salon 4 Hair Concept? Could you talk to us about the fundamental notions that you are pursuing in setting up the salon and what you feel about as a team in terms of team spirit as well? Absolutely, my pleasure. So we are located in Taipei's East District, and East District is well known as a very fashionable space. We've got 19 stylists on site and a total staff of 35. Now, we have 2 core concepts that we try to work on in daily practice. First is capacity building and then attention to detail. Now, we've been able to implement the former quite well. We see that there is a great number of people in training, assistants, who are now completing their training and become full-fledged stylists. So we see a shift in trends. We've set up 2 brands. We did so at the beginning of this month. They're called 4 Light and 4 Barbershop. Why are we doing that? Because we're supporting new talent. We've found that within our salon, our clients tend to be high-end. That makes it a bit tricky to train people on them. And that's why we've created these 2 brands as platforms and allow them to develop their skill set. And then there's materials. You might be able to see that we've got steel that we use, cement and wood, of course. Now, why is that? Steel, of course, is a very resilient material. You've got cement, which is natural and is a very simple material. And all of the wood and timber that we use within our stores, as you can see here in the pictures, is second-hand. So that's usually wood that will be taken out of other buildings that is no longer needed, and we're recycling that. And that's how we really see sustainability play out in practice. Now, ESG really has three aspects to it, and I would like to hear more about how you feel about this at 4Hair. We've got the environment, that's the E, we've got society, and then we also have got governance. Now, what I'm really curious about is, Scott, how you view your social responsibility aspect within this. So you are supporting disadvantaged children in Taiwan. How are you going about that? Is that something that you could talk about a little bit? How are you supporting disadvantaged children as a team? And why would you actually feel that they need that support in the first place? Would you be able to talk a little bit about that? Well, talking about disadvantaged children, we're talking about indigenous kids, right? They tend to live in the mountainous parts of Taiwan. Usually they'll be about an hour or two removed from bigger cities by car. And usually there's only going to be one road that leads up to where they're located. Now, this happened to us once. We went, and 2 days earlier, there'd been a typhoon, and some of the roads were still blocked off. And that's actually not that uncommon. So you'd have heavy rain or typhoons happening, and that would essentially cut them off from the rest of the country. What this means, essentially, is that life is not all that simple. Now, indigenous people in Taiwan are still being discriminated against, and that's why they need more economic support as well. In most indigenous families, you'd have the parents work in the cities, the grandparents looking after the kids at home. So life is actually very simple and straightforward, and we're trying to do our little bit. Thank you, Scott. What I'm interested in is what you specifically do as a team. What specifically are you doing to support disadvantaged children then? Well, specifically, I mean, we're cutting hair, right? That seems to be pretty simple and straightforward, but that's not what this is mostly about. We also prepare little presents for these kids. They're very happy anyway because they live in the midst of nature. But of course, they find it very cool that you've got, people from these nice chaps from the city pop over and actually give them some presents, and they also cut their hair. And in many ways, we help them, but they also help us. So they allow us for just one day to really feel appreciated, and their smiles just really make us happy. Now, that's some sort of feedback that we usually might not get in our professional lives to that same extent. Okay, all right. So, Scott, what I'm interested in is to hear how you were able to spread this with the team. So this might be your idea. This might have been your idea on the offset. But ultimately, how do you get everybody else on board? How can you inspire everybody to really give a bit of their time? How did you actually make sure that people actually join you in this effort? Well, we set up shop about 13 years ago, and around 7 years in, I was wondering what I could be doing to give back to society beyond just making our clients a little bit more beautiful. And I came up with three things I wanted to change. I said that each and every year we would have to do our bit to clean the beaches, then volunteer, and then go on fundraising runs. Now, for the past year and a half, 2 years, the pandemic really has thwarted most of these plans, but we've been doing volunteer work. Now, at the very beginning, maybe there were very few people who would join me on that trip into the mountains, but it really went viral very quickly. That's after all because colleagues come back from that trip and everybody else sees how happy, how content they are. And then, of course, those who didn't go do wonder, is it really that much fun? So at the beginning, we had like 4 or 5 people join me, and now we're up to nearly 20. And what this really does is that it brings the team closer together. That is really great support. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, Ethan, what I'm wondering about is what can you be doing to support these efforts?
Oh,
yeah, of course we do support them. When we heard about these plans that 4Hair Concept had, we provided transport and we also helped with the coordination aspect of things. Now, of course, we want to identify leaders for our business and then also really expand on this and spread those ideas and activities and also allow our clients to take part in it. Thank you, Ethan. Scott, another thing that I am wondering about is, now that you've done this twice, could you tell us a bit more about the sparks that you might have felt, that there might have been within your team? Yeah, of course, that's happened. When you do good things, when you do good, that will actually do something with you. It's going to change you. So you see a side to your colleagues and friends that you ordinarily might not see. And that certainly is a source of motivation for all of us. And turning this on its head, people around you will also understand you better, and they understand that you're a really good-hearted person. And that really helps us really grow as a team and develop that team spirit, strengthen it, deepen it. Thank you. Now, Ethan, how do you feel about 4Hair as a team? I think they're really special as a team. Usually the moment that a team makes it to a certain level technically, and as soon as they're successful, they're much less likely to actually listen to other voices. Now, they work together really closely, and at the same time, they really have this consensus and they're ready, prepared to achieve the targets and the aims of that brand. The way they communicate is really good, horizontally and vertically. They have common goals, such as with the fundraiser. And what they will do then is to really get the entire team on board and to really live out the brand, that atmosphere. And that's really what 4Hair Concept is famous for. Scott, as you're doing and implementing these things, we are very glad to see that you really are pioneers within Asia. What I'm wondering about now is, from your perspective as a salon operator, I am wondering about the positive changes that you might see in the way that your business develops. Well, actually, as an owner, I'm responsible for a whole ton of things, and lots of it is actually not represented in your business figures. Well, actually, doing good things is not necessarily reflected in your company results. But what it does do, it does really help with the happiness among your staff, and I think that's huge. And that's more important. It's mostly emotional, getting something back, and that's really helpful for us as a team and as a company. Ethan, I'd like to ask you, do you think that sustainability is actually something that clients in Asia understand as a factor in choosing and in purchasing decisions? Actually, yes, absolutely. Certainly among younger clients, there's more social awareness, awareness for the environment, greater requirements vis-a-vis sustainable business, and all that. So we really see that we in Asia now oppose using fakes, right? And there's much more recycling than there used to be. There's a very clear trend there, and pricing no longer is the key factor that guides the decision-making process in clients. All of us really want to do good, and that's more important. Thank you, Ethan. Scott, all of us really, try to better understand how we can be more sustainable in interacting with friends and colleagues. Do you have any recommendations for us and for our other partners? How can we implement sustainability in our daily practice? Recommendations, that's a bit of a big word. All I can do really is to share my experience with you. There's a lot of positive examples, and ultimately it's very simple and straightforward. Whenever you do something that makes somebody else happy, that's going to make you happy too, so why not just do it? So, of course, it needs to come from the bottom of your heart. If you're kind of pushing yourself to doing it, you don't really want to be doing it, then of course you're not going to be happy either. Now, the pandemic also adds to that mix. I'm pretty sure that the pandemic has affected all of us. Now, in that sort of setting, against that sort of backdrop, if there's something that you can do for your community, for your society, why not do it? Make yourself happy and make everybody else happy as well. Thank you very much for sharing all of this really insightful experience that you've had. And it really is something that we hope that more people will know and learn about this. Now, at the same time, we also wish you and your two new brands great success going forward. And of course, we also hope that as individuals, as teams, we can do a little bit towards implementing ESG through daily practice, and that way really own up to our responsibility. Thank you very much, Scott. Thank you very much, Ethan. And thank you very much to all of you who are watching this video. See you next time. Bye-bye.